Fuck you. What's up,
What's up, retards? Did you just try to follow me on that? Because that's my line. You're not allowed to say that. Legally, that is my line.
There's no legality here. What's up, retards? It's Epic Gamer time again. Welcome back to the podcast. Mark's being salty because I'm stepping on his feet, and it's funny.
You're stepping on not just my feet, Jacob. You are stepping on my literal head. You are stepping on my head because do you know what that statement means to me? Absolutely nothing. That is what that statement means to me. Either way, you're stepping all over me by saying it, you know? Because even though it means nothing, there is sentimental value to that, even though it means nothing. And I know that is the opposite of what sentimental value means, but I don't give a shit, Jacob. You're not allowed to say that.
We're gaming. Welcome back to Epic Gamer time.
I don't pay you to say my lines. I pay you to write shitty jokes. And do you even do that? No, because I don't pay you.
Yes, I do that very well. You don't have to pay me, but it still doesn't mean I can't write my shitty jokes.
For my shitty horse jokes, like, hey Jacob, why the long face? Because I shot you because you broke a leg. Get it? You're a horse.
It's funny. Because I'm faster than you.
Insert confetti noise there. At 157.
Bruh. That's painful.
But nonetheless, let's get to today's topics. Today's topics include the new Jag F-Type, the 2021 F-Type.
Cute.
Getting faster, more beautiful as always, because it's a Jaguar. Always beautiful. Some dreams, some very panicky dreams I've had lately about real events that may happen. Don't worry, they're interesting. Rotaries at LeMans, and going back to Mazda's 787B, beautiful platform.
Yeah.
The winning car in the 1991 Le Mans 24 Hours of Le Mans race, and the new Aston Martin DBX. Sorry. Should there be more crossover cars? No, short answer. But listen to hear more on our rant. All right, let's start with the Jag F-Type.
It's pretty cute.
What do you think, Jacob?
Well, first impressions, take a look at it. It's pretty fucking cute. You know, it's an F-Type. I mean, they look mean. They look fast, which is what they're known for. You know, they're out there just kind of like, you know, they got their war face on. They got their big boy V8s, usually with a big old superchargy boy on top, right. Just pushing air down.
They've got a 5-liter V8 this year that was previously from the SVR, the Jag SVR. So it's a very capable engine.
Are they still sourcing their engines from Mercedes?
I'm not sure about that. I can
never remember, because I know for a while they were picking Mercedes-sourced V8s, and they just kind of sounded quiet,
right,
and dumb.
Well, they now have 575 horsepower and do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds.
Big speed.
Pretty impressive. Like, that's pretty fast. They're very beautiful. But as always, you know, you look at them and you can tell you can't see shit out the back.
Oh yeah, no, that rear window's fucking useless. I mean, I've seen fucking dinner plates bigger than those.
Exactly the same. Dinner plates. Yeah, the headlights and the taillights look pretty much exactly the same. As far as I can tell, they only come in an automatic.
You're forgetting the best part. It's got a V6 and a turbo 4-cylinder. Come on. It comes in 3 trim levels. One with a turbo 4-cylinder, pretty fucking cute. One with a supercharged V6.
Supercharged V6.
You know, that's when you're getting serious, and then you know the big the big boy V8 comes snarling out of nowhere.
And now for any F-Type R dynamic, they all have all-wheel drive, which is interesting.
Bizarre.
F-Type. Yeah, so the R dynamic, and then the F-Type R.
R stands for race.
R stands for race. But yeah, no, it's a very Jaguar has always been good at making pretty cars. It's beautiful, styling lines, beautiful styling cues that always take from the previous generation and always make it look like, you know, it reminds you of something you loved in the past while still moving into the future. So
it's like your high school crush, right? You might not ever talk to her, you might have maybe taken her out on a date and she totally dumped your ass. At the end of the day, you know, you've moved on, but sometimes you're looking back and you're like, damn, that was pretty great. So you look for the same qualities in a new girl. That's the new Jaguar F-Type, baby.
Yep. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah, girls are cool.
No, the new Jaguar F-Type is.
You heard it here first. Mark does not like girls, confirmed.
Oh, fuck. I just put myself in a tight spot, didn't I?
Baited.
Fuck!
You buffoon. You've fallen for the classic blunder.
You've fallen for the classic blunder. Yeah, no, but the F-Type looks beautiful. Amazing car. Just a great, beautiful all-around car.
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking sick. I'm excited to see what this thing can do. You know, when it hits the track, you know, Motor Trend will be all over it. You know, Car and Driver will be all over it.
I want to know what it does around a track.
Yeah,
I really.
Let's just have them lap it at Big Willow, and then I'll be content. Or Streets of Willow, I guess. Yeah, Jaguar. Yeah. Sorry, Brits. Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Fucking.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. It's a Jaguar.
It's a Jag. We're Americans. Fuck you.
If everyone just calls it a Jag, no one gets mad. So
except for the Brits, because they're assholes.
Well, even Brits.
It's a Jaguar, you fucking wanker. And they throw their boiling tea at you and scream about liberty and get mad about Boris Johnson. Boris!
Okay. Let's keep out of politics here, Jake.
Tell me I'm wrong. You can't. Anyway, moving on. Mark.
Moving on.
What are those fucking dreams you're talking about? Are they wet? Are they the wet kind? Are they the dry kind? Somewhere in between.
I have this funny thing. Whenever I dream about cars, or anything to do with cars, especially, and generally keep in mind, I will dream about cars if I fall asleep thinking about cars, which I commonly do, right? Because I'm always like, oh man, I really want to drive my car right now. I'm really bored. I just want to go driving. Whenever I dream about cars, it's never a good dream. It's always a nightmare. So, and it's always like I can't stop. It's always like my brakes are like they're working, but they're not working well enough that I can actually stop. And it's like you're pushing on and pushing on and pushing on and pushing on.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you push, you can't stop. And so that goes on for like an eternity, it feels like. So it's like 10 minutes. You're just like trying to slow down because you see something ahead, and like, you know, in the real world, you know that it's not, you know, you can't see something ahead and 10 minutes later like be able to stop. No, that you can't see something 10 minutes ahead when you're driving, unless you're going like half a mile an hour or something. And in most of those dreams, I'm going like half a mile an hour. I'm trying to slow down. I can't. I keep getting slower, but I never stop. And so that's like, you keep going, and eventually I finally get put out of my misery, and I finally wreck, right?
Yeah.
And it's always like in my in one of my like really cherished cars. You know, well, I only have two, but it's like the most recent dream I've had was in my race car, my 1993 Mazda MX-6 autocross car, and it is so fucking awful because you wreck, and I looked at it and it's like, oh, the paint is just fucked. The car looks fine and drivable, but the paint is fucked. And I worked all summer on that paint, right? I repainted it, and I took so much money and time into that, and it's just done. It's just gone. And it's so sad, and I get so mad about that. And then right as I'm about to start just having a full mental breakdown, I wake up. And it takes me about 3 or 4 minutes to realize it was a dream, and then I'm like, oh, it was.
You just kind of go.
That was just a dream. My car is fine. I'm fine. But like for 4 minutes, I'm still in like depression
absolute
mode,
fucking
where I'm
panic
just like,
depresso mode.
I just like, oh, I don't even want to be alive anymore, because it's just like, what the fuck? But then I realized, like, it's fine. My car is fine. But it puts me in such a panic state of like ever actually wrecking my car or losing my car. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I inevitably do, because I am going to
I don't
wreck
think
a
anyone
car
wants
at
to
some
wreck a
point.
car. But like at the
No,
same time,
but
I think you just need to drink some sleepy time tea, my guy.
probably
Yeah, just be
like
Jay
some
chillin'.
chamomile. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably help, but like still, it's just, so these are just like whack dreams, and I have them pretty often, and they're some of the only dreams I actually remember having. Like, I very rarely remember dreams. Like, I remember one dream from my childhood, and it's actually, this is a pretty funny story. My dad would always make it a super high priority to tie your shoes, right? Because that's like what you do when you have a kid, is you make sure they tie their shoes so they don't trip on their laces and fall flat on their face. So he'd always like stop to tie his shoes in like the most inconvenient times. Like, we'd be like about to leave, and he'd be like, oh nope, gotta tie my shoes. I'm like, you can do it in the car, Dad. He's like, nope, gotta tie my shoes. And so it was really funny. But in this dream, we were getting chased by, you know, a monster, and I didn't even know what the monster looked like. You know, it was just like
It was
some
monster, yes.
monster.
Big monster.
Yeah. Big monster, big hairy monster wants to kill Malk.
I don't think you realize the Avengers reference I made there, but it's fine. It's fine.
What'd you say?
Big monster! You know when Hulk goes, big monster,
Oh.
and he wants to punch Surtur, and Thor says no, fuck
Oh,
off,
yeah,
you
yeah.
idiot, yeah.
Okay, that would have been a Thor Ragnarok reference.
Big monster!
Anyway, we were being chased by a big monster in my front yard that looked nothing like my front yard because it was a dream, but somehow I still knew it was my front yard because it's funny how the brain works. But yeah, we were being chased by this monster, and my dad's, no joke, in the fucking dream stops to tie his shoe. And it was like right behind the next wall, and I'm like fucking terrified, like, come on, Dad. And it's like trying to beat down the wall like something from Halo or something. And I'm just like, oh God, please save me. And then I woke up. And that was just the funniest fucking thing. It's still funny to me. It's just a funny story to me. How like he ingrained it so hard into my brain that my subconscious went, oh, time to tie your shoe.
Bro, sometimes you just gotta tie a shoe.
In the middle of a fucking dream. And yeah, so that's I very rarely, anyway, we're a little off topic there. It's okay. It's okay. But I very rarely remember dreams except for when I wreck a car in my dreams. And it happens all the time. The funniest part though is when I wreck a car in a dream, it doesn't crash. It just turns into pieces.
Yeah. You know, I've had
Like-
that same shit happen.
Like, you wreck, and then your car is just, like, in pieces, and you're outside it. Because I think your brain can't quite comprehend what happens when you wreck a car. Can't quite simulate that very well.
Your brain just doesn't want to realize that your car can be either solid or... Well, no, your brain can only see your car as, I guess, one piece or 1,000 pieces. It doesn't want to see it as a crumpled, mangled mess.
Yeah, our brain does not understand
'cause brain, big
deformable
stupid.
materials very well.
Yeah, brain, big stoopy. But sometimes 300,000 IQ strikes. But most of the time, big stoopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason we have finite element analysis softwares is because our brains are not wired to do hand calculations for stresses in complex parts.
So you're telling me that brain bad at math.
No, brain good at math, numbers. Brain not good at thousands of hand calculations at once.
So brain bad at math.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah, see? I can summarize shit. Fuck you, engineering major.
TLDR, brain bad at math.
TL. It'd be
Brain
TLDL, because it's too long, didn't listen.
Didn't listen.
TLDL, brain bad, car's good.
We're
Yeah.
bringing in Reddit. We're bringing in Reddit speak now, boys. You better be ready for the memes to come.
Ha ha ha! Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda! Ha ha! Funny meme! Ha ha ha! I'm a Reddit user.
But yeah,
I'm
no,
literally
that's
Reddit.
So that's the dreams that's the dreams that I have. It's very they're very annoying because I have them and it takes me a couple seconds to realize that they were a dream when I wake up, especially if I wake up like in my own bed. I think I just like went to sleep and like in panic mode and woke up and it's still a shitty day. But yeah, for the most part, they're awful dreams to have. I wouldn't wish them on anyone.
Yeah.
Like, they're better than some dreams, but I'd honestly rather have a monster attack me, because then when you, like, wake up after your monster killed you, you're just like, oh yeah, it was a dream, because I'm alive now, and not dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hate my weird car dreams, because, like, kind of like you, I had one when I had my old really shitty Scion TC. I loved that car to fucking death before my parents gave it to my brother. And I had a dream that I parked it in a parking lot, but like when I came back, all of a sudden the parking lot was a railroad track. And I watched a train fucking plow through my car and it just shattered into a million pieces. It was pretty fucking weird. Because it wasn't my fault, because it was a parking lot, and all of a sudden the parking lot was a train. And train tracks. I was kind of like, what the fuck? And I told my dad and he called me stupid. And it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, car dreams. Rotaries at LeMans!
Are we moving to that already?
Rotaries at LeMans!
Alright, I'll let you start with this since you seem really excited.
No,
about it.
I'm just making a transition because it got really quiet. Rotaries at LeMans, Mark!
Oh.
The engines rotate! And this is not 24 hours of LeMans. This is the one in France. Dorito engine! Yeah! I broke Mark's brain again!
Just start talking about Mazdas.
So, once upon a time in the great country of Japan, there was this amazing car company. They called themselves Mazda, Japanese for dank shit. And some fucking badass decided, you know what? Regular engines suck dick. Why don't we make one that just spins?
Well, no, it was Felix Wayne.
You told me to tell the story. So Mazda took Mr. Winkle's engine, right? And they say, fuckaroo, normal engine, we make spinny boy.
Oh
so they took all the power of dank memes,
taken down.
MLGs, and Doritos, and shoved it all into really well designed engines, very well engineered engines. And effectively it's a spinning Dorito and a crankshaft. And it goes
Yeah, when you get it on that two-step.
They make really fun noises. And they burn a lot of oil. But holy fuck are they cool. Ideally super low maintenance because it's less moving parts, but as every car guy knows, trigger warning, apex seals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
So, okay, so here's the thing with rotaries. Rotaries they really like to be not abused, but they like to be pushed really hard.
They like to rev really high.
Yeah, and they like to be held at really high RPMs because it cleans them out better, kind of.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. They're just really good for that sort of thing, and that's why they did so well at Le Mans, is because they could, like, you could just push them really fucking hard for a really long amount of time, and as long as you started them up and had to, let them warm up before you started pushing them.
Rotaries had this really weird kink where the harder you ran them, they just kind of wanted to go more.
Yeah. And I'm guessing those were also probably pre-mixed fuel, oil and fuel.
Probably the easiest way to do it.
They mix the oil in beforehand, which helps them keep pretty cool, so they didn't like overheat.
Keeps them cool, and it helps keep the rotor chamber better lubricated, as they tend to burn a lot of oil naturally.
Right.
If you're just running a lot of oil in there 24/7, I mean, yeah, it's gonna burn it, but with each intake stroke, there's just putting more oil in there, so it's a win-loss. You know, I guess every time they stop the car, they'd have to put more oil in every time they'd stop the car. If that's even legal.
Or, well, if they pre-mixed the fuel, they would be able to just fuel it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that or not, but that would have been the smart thing to do if it was allowed in the regulations. Because
big brain.
They know they're gonna burn it anyway, so they may as well just pre-mix it. However, when you do add oil into your fuel, it decreases the octane of the fuel.
Yeah, makes it
That's
more
why
volatile.
when people add like a catch can to their car, they generally make a little more power because the octane of the fuel is higher because there's not as much oil moving through it.
Make that oil, that fuel less volatile for better spark, baby. Yeah.
Just it burns a little slower that way, and it doesn't explode as much, and a little more predictable of a burn, which makes it a little more desirable for high power.
High octane, baby.
But not quite. If you have a very quick burn, it can burn out and leave some fuel behind, so you want a slower burn, burns more completely, and that's why a slower burn generally makes more power, and higher octane fuels generally make more power that way. Pretty cool. But
yeah, it'd be fun to see Mazda come back to Le Mans with their Dorito boys, because what they run like a big turbo triple rotor in '92.
Oh,
it was a scary motherfucker.
Wasn't it a 26B? Or was it? What was it?
Or sorry, it was in '91. My bad. Awkward silence is awkward while Mark does his research.
I'm looking something up.
I know. I'm just trying to not have big noise gap.
Yeah, it was a 26B, so it's basically with 4 rotors.
4 rotor, big turbo,
and 3 spark plugs per rotor.
Jesus fuck. That's a lot of Sparky boys.
It had a telescopic intake manifold system. Wow. Telescopic. That probably helps it get low end because they don't generally have a lot of low end. But you can like get more with you can get more if you get the right intake and you make it,
yeah, if you make it adjustable, it's
right.
It's like valve timing for the intake minus the valve part.
Kind of, yeah. A shorter intake will work better at lower RPMs, and a longer intake will work better at higher RPMs in general.
Gotta get the right air. Yes.
But yeah, no, the engine was really cool, like 700 horsepower at 9,000 RPM and 448 foot-pounds. Yeah,
it's
casual. It's funny how much the torque compared to the power, like, man.
Hey, man.
448 foot-pounds. 700 horsepower, 448 foot-pounds.
Hey, man, they weren't worried about getting there, they were just worried about staying there.
Yeah. The interesting thing about so Wankels are similar to 2-stroke engines because 2-strokes also burn oil, and 2-strokes also don't have like 4 individual strokes of intake, compression, combustion exhaust. You know, they don't have those 4 different strokes, but they do it basically in 2. But 2 strokes also don't have any pumping losses. Mm-hmm. Whereas Wankel engines do have pumping losses.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of an interesting dilemma there, because the 2 strokes basically, you know, you can get double the horsepower with a Wankel you can get like triple the horsepower for the same displacement.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to measure the actual displacement, because it's like how much can it
literally
displace?
Moves.
Yeah. How much can it displace? Are you counting like one edge of one rotor, or are you counting all 3 edges at the same time?
Yeah.
Technically it can only displace one edge of one rotor at one time. But it's doing one edge of one rotor 3 times per revolution.
Yeah, there's always...
Instead of one every other revolution.
There's always one part of the stroke going on per cycle. So at any given time, one part of the rotor is at a completely different phase of the engine cycle. It's fucking amazing.
So one of the reasons it got banned was because they complained.
Did they fucking say it was OP?
No, they couldn't measure the actual the actual displacement, because they didn't know they didn't know if it was, you know, this displacement or 1/3 this displacement or 3 times this displacement. And so some of the other teams were like calling them out. They're like, oh, they have 3 times the displacement of us. That's not
They
fair.
pulled a Ferrari and said, no, fuck you, you can't do this. But then Mazda said, it's not in the book, fuck you. But then the officials said, no, fuck you. Fuck your overpowered engine.
I mean, basically anything that's good enough in a motor racing thing always either gets adopted or deleted. And by deleted I mean
delete this.
Banned. Like the Hemi engine in NASCAR.
Delete
that shit got deleted.
Daytona Charger goes sicko mode. NASCAR. Delete this.
Delete.
You couldn't hear me, but I smacked my desk as if hitting a delete button.
I see.
Yeah. We're gaming.
Yeah, so that's it's just funny because no one actually knows what the displacement of a, you know, because a 13B
it's very hard to measure.
Yeah, a 13B is, you know, what Mazda claims to be 1.3 liters. That's why it's a 13B. A 26B is 2.6 liters. That's why it's a 2.6 liter.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody else was using like 3-liter V6s at the time, I think. I don't remember. But
in 91?
And then they're just like, no. Fuck
They said, no. You follow our rules. Your engine cannot rotate. It must reciprocate.
What was interesting is the 24 hours of the 787B did not do well in pace.
I bet not.
Not fast. It was not fast, but it was reliable, and so it's just funny because everyone considers that the 13B engine, especially like the Renesis version, the RX-8,
yeah,
is so unreliable. It's so bad, you know. It doesn't even make it past 10k miles, blah blah blah.
That's just because they're not driving it right.
In a street driving environment, yeah, it's
you just have to rev it at its 9,000 RPMs, a couple times a day, and you're fine.
It's not meant to be street driven.
It is not a low revs boy. Like Ken Miles told us in the beginning of Ford versus Ferrari, try shifting it at 5,000 instead of 2,000. But instead with the rotaries, it's like try shifting at red line instead of anywhere else.
Yep.
I had a buddy. He came to school with me for a year before he moved back to California. But he had an RX-8 down there, and he knew how to take care of a car. He made that thing last him a long fucking time. And I asked him what his secret was, hoping to hear the right answer. And like a smart boy, he's like, "Oh yeah, I just revved the piss out of it a couple times a day." And I'm like, "That's a boy."
No, people do not, like, they're like, I babied my RX-8 my whole life and I put it down.
You buffoon.
You
fool, you've killed us all.
You've fallen for one of the classic blunders.
You've fallen for one of the classic blunders. Bazinga.
But yeah, it's kind of dumb that people don't like rotaries. And yeah, they're not great for a street car. They're just not. I mean, if you want a car that you can just race, they're great for it. Because most of the time when you're racing a car, you're gonna warm it up before you try and race it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what race engines have to do.
Yeah.
I always do it with my autocross MX-6. Like, you know, I let it warm up and then I drive it hard. I drive the piss out of that fucker, and it revs to $7 grand. But it, you know, you gotta know what the engine wants.
Yeah.
You can't just, you know, maybe a lot of fuel system treatments work really well in Mazdas.
Yeah.
I've never owned a rotary / Wankel engine.
Yeah, I really don't think you'd want to own one. At least not in Idaho. You'd really only be able to drive it for a few solid months, unless global warming happens and you'll be able to drive it longer. But I mean, rear-wheel drive in this state is kind of fucking suicide, especially if it's high power.
Yeah.
Or anything above 180.
They're summer cars at that point.
Oh, they are so fucking summer cars.
Yeah.
Literally, if you want to survive in this state, you need all-wheel drive. So hey, maybe that new Jag is right up your alley.
That's why I own a Subaru.
Yeah. Quattro gang, baby.
Fuck your Audi.
Hey, fuck you too. She has personality for an old lady. Eat my ass.
She's got personality for a fucking rock.
Hey, man. As soon as I get my hands on that title, I can finally do whatever the fuck I want with it. Because my parents don't believe in fun.
We're still paying for the insurance. You're not allowed to modify it.
Yeah, you don't know my parents. They literally told me I had to pay for half my high school for a little bit.
Jesus.
They thought about it. They told me they thought about it. They're like, yeah, we were thinking about having you pay us back for high school. At least half of it. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, you didn't give me a choice.
Yeah. I went to
private school.
You told me to.
Yeah.
What?
They gave me the air quotes here choice of the good private school versus the other bad private school in the area.
Public schools, you mean?
No, the other bad, the bad private school. You know the one I'm talking about, the one in Nampa.
Ambrose?
No, Nampa Christian.
Oh,
the actual joke of a school.
I always forgot that's a thing.
Everyone forgets it's a thing. Even the kids that go there forget it's a thing. Or at least they like to forget it's a thing. I worked with a poor soul who went to Nampa Christian. And, like, the hardest class they took, I asked her what her workload was, and it was about as hard as a freshman level class.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do they even have, like, calculus there?
I don't know. They have air quotes AP classes, but they're not that hard.
Then probably none of the students passed the AP test.
Yeah, probably not. Nampa Christian's kind of a joke.
Yeah, I just never even realized that that's a school.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking awful.
God.
No offense to those of you that go there or work there.
But I'm sorry.
Probably deal with what you have, but engineering I can look at. But yeah, I know how that feels though, being at U of I right now, when they're 26 million, I think, in debt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to lay off a bunch of teachers, get rid of a bunch of them. They're giving them all incentives to retire and stuff.
Aren't they also asking some of them to take a voluntary pay? What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Are they just basically like asking some people to volunteer to work for less money?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. They'd go a long way if they just cut the biggest waste of money to ever exist at that school, the fucking football team.
Oh my god. Honestly. Fuck. Do you know how much... You know the ads they have coming up from, like, the Treasure Valley area?
Yeah.
The, like, big billboards they have that say, "Foes will fall, Vandals football."
Yeah, we have that shit here, too.
It's so fucking dumb.
Like,
who...
Foes will fall? Yeah, maybe in your fucking dreams, you idiots.
Well, and it's like, first of all, it's not even true.
Yeah, no. They beat one team a year
for such a shitty team. Ugh.
Like, yeah, they go play these big teams like their Penn States and their UCLA's. You know, they go get creamed to make a couple million doing that, but that barely pays for the travel for the year. Like, there's no fucking way they actually make money off of that.
They don't.
Yeah,
It's a huge hole.
Like, as amazing as college football is, it's just wasted money on something like where a school could be actually focusing on what a school's meant to be.
Yeah.
A place of higher education.
They're building a new basketball stadium.
I mean, U of I's basketball team is their last hope, frankly. Because they haven't been good for a couple years, but the years they were good, they were pretty fucking good. I think if they just cut money out of that football program and put it into other teams, like, I think U of I would be really, really good off cutting track and football. Because they've already cut half their events in their track program. Why not just cut the rest of it?
Just get rid of the track team altogether.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to them. What they have is amazing, but they've already cut, like 7 or 8 of their event program staff. Like, they just cut pole vault this last year. All they have left is, like, sprints and throws.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I basically live with, my apartment complex has 4 buildings, and the building across from my building houses, like, at least half of the football team.
Huh.
It's really fucking funny, but at the same time, they all... It's really funny because they all drive scooters.
Huh.
They all drive these shitty little scooters, and you hear them get up at like 7 in the morning and just start like kicking their scooter, trying to kickstart it, and they're out there for like 10 minutes trying to kickstart their scooter. It takes them like 10 minutes to kickstart a scooter. Like, it's a fucking scooter. I can pull over a 160 horsepower Ski-Doo E-Tech engine. And you can't even kickstart your half horsepower scooter? That's fucking pathetic. I weigh 130 pounds. Fucking pathetic.
Jesus, yeah. No one ever said you had to be smart to play football. Well, you have to be smart to play football, just not what normal people consider smart.
Well, if you're a lineman, you're not smart. If you're a linebacker, you're kind of smart. If you're a wide receiver, you're a little smarter. If you're a quarterback,
have you ever played on the line, Mark?
No.
Yeah, we have to know just as many plays as you guys do, or as anybody else on the team does. Granted, our job is a lot easier. It's, hey, stop the guy in front of you, but sometimes it's yeah.
Well,
we have to know every play as well, because it's a different position for every person on the line, depending on the play.
My roommate is a really good football player, and he always, he's like, and he's a civil engineering major. He's fucking ridiculously smart. It pisses me off, but basically, he's like, yeah, the linemen are fucking idiots. The linebackers are slightly smart. The wide receivers are a little smarter, and then the quarterback's mildly intelligent.
Yeah.
He basically just said that.
You only have to be football smart to play football. Like, literally, if you can memorize a playbook and execute it, you'll get a scholarship anywhere. You don't have to be good at anything else.
Yeah, it's just funny, like, thinking about the coaches who are like, they have to be pretty smart to be able to coach a football team and deal with all those
being
idiots.
A coach is insane. You have to build plays, coach a team to run those plays well.
It's pretty funny. But, yeah, no, it's just funny, like, a bunch of football players on scooters, and they ride, like, doubled up.
Jesus Christ.
2 massive football players on this tiny little scooter. Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, U of I's a joke. Sorry, Mark.
What was that?
I said U of I's a joke.
Say U of I's a joke?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The call kind of cut it off a little bit. I didn't quite
hear
you.
Yeah, no. I hate to be that guy, but they're just kind of going down the shitter.
Oh, yeah, no,
they just need to dump what they have left into academics and get to a point before they can think about bringing athletics back.
I didn't come to U of I to watch football. I came to U of I to learn engineering.
Yeah.
and I'm barely doing that. So yeah, we'll see how this college thing goes.
It's the same boat as LC. No one comes here to do sports. They usually end up coming here to do a degree, and then the coaches say, "Hey, you're pretty mediocre in high school. How about you come play NAIA sports?" Except for our basketball team. Our basketball team's fucking god. Our basketball team's insane this year. Our track team, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care about college sports. I think college sports are dumb anyway.
I think if they're done correct, I think the problem is too many schools have over-prioritized their football teams as opposed to actually, the absolute vast majority of their students, but the schools that do it right do it very well. Every other school just kind of looks like idiots who are just taking money from the NCAA and the rest of their students to fund a football team. It's kind of like BK in that matter. 6 new uniforms with 6 different colors every year, and every other sports team kind of gets the shaft. But hey,
Yeah.
$10,000 a year. Nah, it goes straight to the football team.
Yeah, honestly. Oh my god. Don't even pay like the teachers half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Every school seems to have a little bit of that going on, but U of I is really bad about it right now because they can't figure out if they want to be an actual school or if they want to be sports. And they just, it makes me angry. But we'll stop talking about political things because that's political enough that it's making my blood pressure go through the roof. And yeah, let's move on to
Aston Martin DBX.
Oh god, this
Ladies and gentlemen, you fucking retards, this is what you sat down for, this is what you're here for. Aston Martin did a thing. They made a fucking SUV. You heard it here first, folks. Aston Martin took everything good they had going for them, and they shit the fucking bed.
When did this even like come out?
I have no idea. I literally saw this on a non-YouTube car channel yesterday, and some dude was poking fun at it. I'm like, there's no fucking way this is real. So I instantly got out of bed and got on my computer and went, holy fuck. Aston Martin shot out an SUV, and it literally just looks like a Vantage. With 2 doors and a little taller. Or with 2 more doors and it's a little taller. It still has that same fucking duckwing spoiler they have on everything.
The duckwing looks terrible.
It doesn't look right! Like, literally, all it is, it's a Vantage with, a few inches of ground clearance, some definitely not race suspension, what might even be the same size wheels and tires. And it's got 2 more fucking doors! What is this? Who wants this? I hope no one, because what the fuck? It does make... no, that's in fucking British measurement. What the fuck, you
I was
bastards.
looking at the British measurement. I'm like,
I can't even...
does not compute.
Yeah, fuck you, Britain. Ding dong, your measurement system's wrong. Oh, I'm doing some research real quick. I'm gonna figure out how much horsepower this thing actually makes. I'm gonna figure out the freedom units. Yeah. Car and driver coming in clutch again. Mark, do you wanna know this thing's starting price?
How much?
$192,000. Starting. Aston Martin!
God.
What the fuck are you thinking?
Who's gonna buy this?
No one's buying this!
No one is going to buy this. Holy shit.
Oh god, okay, it's a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. No, it's a Mercedes AMG sourced V8, so I guess it's got that. Makes 542 horsepower, 516 foot-pounds. 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds. I guess that's not bad. But
oh
like,
god, listen to this digital trends thing, this headline. 2021 Aston Martin DBX is perfect for a 0000 agent with a family.
no, it's not. It's perfect for no one.
By Stephen Edelstein.
Stephen Edelstein. Your
November
brain doesn't
19th.
work.
It was written November 19th at 8 p.m. Go to bed, Stephen.
Yeah,
Go to bed.
Stephen, what the fuck? You're
kinda
probably
stupid,
that
though.
00 agent with kids. Shouldn't she be like dead tired in bed? 00 agent, as in 00, as in permit to change diapers? What the fuck? Who are you? You're wrong. No one needs a $192,000 SUV. I will buy a Ford Mustang Mach-E before I even think about touching this thing. Yeah, it's that bad, Aston Martin. That's how bad you done fucked up.
It doesn't even...
No one wants this. No one asked for this.
542 horsepower, 516 pounds of torque. Well, that's cool. I don't care.
No,
It doesn't
yeah,
even
no one
tell me-
fucking cares.
It doesn't. The ground clearance is not listed on their website.
Of course,
The
it
ground
can't be.
clearance
It
isn't
can't be any
listed
more than 8
anywhere.
inches.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd be shocked if it's more than 6.
Yeah, I'd honestly, because it looks around the same height as the Ford Mustang Mach-E.
It almost fits
And
fits the
that's
same
5.5.
profile. I mean,
Yeah, it looks the same as a
this is
Mach-E
it's
with
the
a different
exact
front flip.
same idea of taking an iconic sports car of the brand and saying, "How can we boomer this up a little bit?" So they made it a fucking SUV. At least they didn't call it the Aston Martin Vantage DBX. Then I would fucking have to kill someone. At least they made it its own standalone platform and car. They didn't steal a name from anything else they had. They just said, "Hey, we made an SUV. Maybe some of you retards will buy it. Who knows? You have enough money. You can throw away $200,000 on something you might drive for 6 months and then trade in for a Bentley. You rich fucks." I love. It's so stupid. But like, why? No one wants this. Oh my god. Innovation to take you anywhere? Yeah, maybe in downtown Los Angeles. Exclusive architecture? Bitch, you made a longer Vantage. Iconic engineering? No! Aston Martin has no place making SUVs. Aston Martin, you had one job. That was to make cool cars for James Bond movies. And some rich fucks who can afford it down in California. You had one job. And you fucked it up! I'm just so upset. Like, I can't even say I'm mad. Aston Martin, I'm just disappointed. We had higher expectations for you. We didn't think you'd go sully your name in the mud that is the SUV market. Aston Martin, what the fuck? What the fuck, guys? Mark, any final words?
Fuck you, Aston Martin. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Alright guys, that's all we had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for I guess taking the time out of your busy day to sit down and listen to us fucking morons rant about stupid shit. Discord down in the link below. Please join. No one's joined. It's kind of lonely in here because it's just me and Mark sending memes to each other in the private chat rooms. Please join.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
And don't forget to turn on the notification bell for however much longer we might be here on YouTube, because YouTube's being a total fucking
Do you
cock.
feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake?
We might just get
Do you
deleted
feel
one
your bones
day.
start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake?
So support us
Do
while
you
you
feel your
can.
bones start to shake? Do you
Death
feel the
comes for us
earthquake?
all.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you
Peace
feel
out.
the
I
earthquake?
love you. Bye.
Take you. Do take you. Come on.